Hello everyone. This topic will talk about composting. Do you know what is composting? Compost is organic fertilizer or natural fertilizer. It is derived from the removal of plant residues such as rice straw, corn cobs, nuts, hay, water hyacinth, industrial waste, including household waste, fermented with animal manure, chemical fertilizer, or microbial accelerator. When fermenting with a certain amount of time, the plant will be changed from the original to a brownish brown powder and can be put in the fields or horticulture such as fruit trees, vegetables, or flowers. Compost is very valuable in agriculture. It has not received any attention or popularity as it should. It may be due to several reasons. For example, that the farmer is not aware of the importance of compost in how to improve the soil or maintain the soil fertility is always good, not deteriorate. Composting is the removal of debris or materials. It is derived from organisms, especially those derived from plants such as glass, leaves, starlight, water hyacinth, or even garbage. Water to soothe the moisture, fermented until the debris is decomposed and converted. It is dark brown or dark brown porous, so-called compost. This material shows that tiny organisms which called microbes during the digestion and transformation of plant residues. There are many types of mixer, and the ones that play a role in materials transformation are fungus and bacteria. Fermentation methods of varied materials can be done in many different ways. For example, we can make a fermentation of plant residue alone or with the addition of manure or chemical fertilizer in order to accelerate the deformation of materials faster. We can also adding additional microbial powders to the pile of fertilizer to supplement the already existing microorganisms in nature or the formation of different fertilizer types. Each fermentation time may not be the same, and the compost quality is different. After it becomes a compost, the material is relatively resistant to decompose again, so when putting it into the soil, it slowly releases the nutrients over the time. This is a good advantage of using composting. Because compost can improve the soil to be suitable for the growth of plants for a long time. Some composts are stable in the soil for a long time too, but there are some that are decomposed. In this degradation, plant nutrients are released from the compost to plants, even if it is not very large. It was released all the time and consistency. Aerobic composting is based on microorganisms that use oxygen to digest organic matter. It must have the right conditions to work, which are as follows. 1. Must have enough oxygen. 2. Organic matter must have a ratio of 1 part of nitrogen to 30 to 70 parts of carbon. 3. Must have moisture content about 40 to 60%. 4. Must be turned over the compost pile. If one of these 4 things is missing, composting does not happen. The yield of aerated compost is carbon dioxide, and the decaying organic matter is called humus. Since organic waste such as food waste and yard waste make up 25 to 50% of what people throw away, while you may not be able to compost all the organic waste you generate, composting can significantly cut down on your overall trash. When we throw away yard and food waste, it decomposes in the landfill and releases methane gas, which is a potent greenhouse gas. While most landfills have the technology to capture much of this methane, eliminating the gas at its source is even better. Composting as a waste management technique. A major issue facing modern society is waste management. More simply put, what should we do with the waste we produce? A growing emphasis has been placed on the 3 R's: reduce, reuse, and recycle. Composting provides a means of accomplishing all 3 of the R's. Through composting, the amount of garbage sent to the landfill is reduced. The organic matter is reused rather than dumped, and it is recycled into a useful soil amendment. Natural ecosystem has a proven method of breaking down organic materials into a useful end product. The decomposer found within the food chain break down nature's organic waste and turn it into humus, the organic component of soil. Composting is a way of harnessing the natural process of decomposition to speed up the decay of waste. The history of composting dates back to the history of early agriculture. Many find that composting is as much of an art as a science. Recent concern about managing waste and producing foods in an environmentally sound manner has led to a renewed interest in small-scale backyard composting, as well as an interest in developing large-scale commercial and municipal composting systems. Designing successful composting systems requires an understanding of certain biological, chemical, and physical processes, such as the movement of air, uptake of carbon and nitrogen, and heat production and transfer. Compost is great for plants, lawns, and gardens. Applying compost to your soil makes for happy plants and a better time tending your garden. Here are some of the reasons. For aerobic compost, 1. Increases organic matter in your soil. 2. Help plants absorb nutrients already in your soil and provide some extra nutrients too. 3. Make clay soils more airy, pliable, and drain better, which means they will be easier to crumble and dig in. 4. Help sandy soil retain water that normally runs through. 5. Helps balance the pH of your soil. 6. Can extend the growing season by moderating soil temperature. 7. Can even help control soil erosion. For worm compost or vermicompost. 1. Provides lots of nutrients. 2. Water obtained from the worm bin can be used in concentrated form as a mild weed killer and can also be watered down as a fertilizer. How to make organic fertilizer is divided into two ways. 1. Liquid fertilizer. Ingredients. 1. Fruit or vegetable 3 parts. 2. The molasses or brown sugar 1 part. 3. Effective microorganisms 1 part. 4. Clean water 10 part. How to make liquid fertilizer. 1. Put the fruit into open container with a lid. 2. Use soluble molasses or brown sugar to mix with fruit in a container. 3. Add the microorganisms around. 4. Close the lid tightly and storage under the shade. 5. Leave it for 3 months and it will be ready for use. 2. Dry fertilizer. Ingredients. 1. Organic objects such as leaves, glass, straw 4 parts. 2. Dung or manure 1 part, if applicable. 3. Clean water plus liquid fertilizer. How to make dry fertilizer. 1. Mix soils with organic matter or manure. 2. Sprinkle bran, if any, and liquid fertilizer mixed with water 1 to 200 and mix well. Do not make it too wet. 3. Cover the pile and leave it for 3 weeks. 4. Turn over the pile every 2 days. 5. Left the pile under the shade until it's turned to the compost.